So, for those of you who are just joining me now, hopefully we should be live in the free credit repair advice group. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties syncing up with that. Free credit repair advice group is on Facebook. There we are. We are live. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to do a reintroduction. For those of you who missed it, my name is Jeremy Dysock. I'm a FICO certified professional credit coach. I'm the founder of the free credit repair advice group on Facebook. And this is something I do every Monday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific time. Live on TikTok on Credit Coach JD. So if you're watching me on TikTok, smash like, smash follow. And if you are watching in the free credit repair advice group, make sure to join me every Monday night. Okay. So tonight's topic, what to do when new things show up on your credit and your score drops. And that's going to be the topic on tonight's live. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm going to open this up for some questions. If you've got any questions on TikTok, let me know in the comments section. If you've got any questions on Facebook in the free credit repair advice group, for those of you who have joined and are members of that, go ahead and ask your questions below. So we've had a lot of questions lately. I've had a lot of questions posed to me about what to do when something new shows up on your credit report. What to do when you're monitoring your credit. Maybe you've got Credit Karma. Maybe you are monitoring your credit through your credit card. Maybe you have paid credit monitoring, or you're checking out your free annual credit report. But what are you supposed to do when all of a sudden, bam, you get that notice in your email, your score has decreased by 37 points, and you're sitting there going, but I pay my bills on time. I haven't done anything different. What am I supposed to do about this? And this is something that happens to all kinds of people. I've had a dozen questions on this today in the free credit repair advice group. So what do we do when we get that notification that our score has dropped? The first thing I'm going to recommend anybody to do is to get a good copy of a 3-bureau credit report. Now, I'm going to tell you how to get one for free. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. If you go into the great big wide Google machine and you Google free annual credit report, the bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, are actually legally required to provide you with a copy of your credit report every single year. And they've been doing it more frequently during COVID, but the way the law stands, it's every year. So you want to go in to free annual credit. You want to pull up that credit report. You're going to pull an Equifax, an Experian, and a TransUnion. The first thing you're going to look for to see why that score may have dropped is you're going to go into that report and you're going to look for new activity. Now, what do I mean by new activity? New activity takes on a lot of different styles in credit reports. It could be a new inquiry. How many of you have heard that inquiries hurt your FICO score, your credit score? Has anyone heard that? Give me a thumbs up or smash like on TikTok if you've heard that. Well, it is true. Every inquiry, every hard inquiry you have done on your credit, so when you apply for credit, that's going to cost you between 5 and 15 points each off your credit risk, your credit score. So every inquiry is costing you 5 to 15 points each. Now, those inquiries, they stay on your credit report for 2 years. So the damage, the visual damage is there for 2 years. Now, that 5 to 15 point decrease for having an inquiry, that negatively impacts your credit score for a full year, a full 12 months. So if you go out and you apply for a larger credit card through somewhere like Wells Fargo, one of the big banks where they're going to pull all 3 bureaus because they're a bank and they're interested in all your data. That means you're going to get an inquiry on Equifax, an inquiry on TransUnion, and an inquiry on Experian. So this is costing you 5 to 15 points off each of your credit scores for Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And that's painful. That could literally be the difference between qualifying for a credit card or not, qualifying for a car or not, qualifying for a mortgage or not. So the first thing you want to look at if you've gotten a notification that your score decreases, you want to look for any new inquiries, okay? Now, after you've looked at that and determined, yes, I've got inquiries, or no, I do not have new inquiries, what you're going to look for is new reporting. What do I mean by that? I mean, you're going to go through the accounts on your credit report and you're going to check and go, hey, when was the last time this account reported? When was the last time that account reported? And this account and that account. Oftentimes, what you'll find is an older negative account might be reporting recently. Now, things like collections, they don't always report to credit each and every month because it costs money to report to your credit report. So the collection company may not be sending an update January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, right? Instead, they may do it every month or every couple months or every few months. So if you've got an older negative account, what sometimes will happen is you'll look and you'll see that that older collection or that older negative account has refreshed. They've reported again for maybe the first time in months. And that new negative activity could be the reason for that score drop. So the first thing we're looking for is new inquiries because they cost us 5 to 15 points each off our credit report. The next thing we're looking for is updated or refreshed negative activity. Okay. Now, the third thing we're going to look for, the third thing, I want you to look carefully. If you've seen a score drop, I want you to look at your credit report and look carefully at what are known as revolving accounts. Those are credit cards and lines of credit, things that you can charge up and then you can pay off and then you can use them again. As long as you're happy with the bank and the bank is happy with you, those things can revolve forever. So your Target card, your Amazon card, your Apple card, right? Your Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, all of these credit cards and lines of credit. You want to look and see if the balance has increased. That's reporting. Now, some of you, and you know who you are. Raise your hands or give me some likes if say, okay, guilty. It's one of me. Yeah, I'm one of them. Some of you will use your credit card. You might charge it up, you might pay it off every month, and then you use it again. You might be doing it for rewards or miles or points or whatnot, right? The thing is, unless you are uber strategic about when you pay it off, that balance that you've charged up to might be getting reported to credit, okay? Now, balance to limit ratio, that's how much you can use on a credit card versus how much you already did use. Balance to limit. Balance to limit ratio makes up a full 30% of your FICO score. So the higher amount that you use on those credit cards and revolving accounts, the more damage it does to your score. So if you're somebody who charges them up to get the points and then pays it off each month and charges it and pays it off, if that sucker reports while it's full of money, while it's full of debt, right? Your credit score will tank. So one of the reasons your score may have dropped, that you got that notification in your email that your score decreased or that there's been new activity, could be something as simple as a balance increasing on a credit card or on a line of credit. Probably one of the most frequent things professionally I see when people come to me and they go, hey, Coach Jeremy, my score dropped. I haven't been doing anything different. I do the same thing every month. I never carry a balance. I always pay my card off every month. More times than not, I look at the person's credit report and I see that it reported while that balance was high, okay? The other thing to look for, now we're looking at what? We've looked at inquiries. New inquiries could be a very likely reason for a score drop. Balance to limit ratios on credit cards could be a likely reason for a score drop. New activity on a negative account, something reporting recently that might not have reported for a while, that could be a good reason for a score drop. What's another reason? Obviously, a new late, a 30-day, a 60, a 90-day late. It takes on average 24 on-time payments on an account like a credit card to make up for one 30-day late payment. I'm gonna say that again. We're talking 24 on-time payments to make up for one late. Well, Jeremy, why is it so disproportionately punitive? Why are they punishing me so badly for one little oops, one little 30-day late. Well, here's the deal. You didn't just not pay on time, right? You did not pay on the due date. You paid 30 days after. So, I mean, you've gone a full month past when you were supposed to pay. And the very minimum obligation you made when you took out credit, a mortgage, a credit card, a car loan, the very minimum obligation that you made was to repay in a timely fashion. So yeah, you get nailed for that. Well, why would I get nailed so hard for that on my credit score? Here's why. Your credit score is not for you. Your credit score is not for you. You're not the client. You're not. The bank is the client. You're the commodity. You're the product. It's your info they're buying and selling. And a credit score is simply a risk rating. It's simply something that's done to determine how risky it is to lend you money. Now, if you pay 30 days late on something, it's increasingly risky to lend you money. And so you get a big hit on that score. So the next thing we're looking for is any new lates. Does this make sense? If this makes sense to you, smash like on TikTok. All right, give me some hearts on TikTok. Follow, by the way, if you like free credit repair advice and you want better credit. And on Facebook, those of you who are watching in the free credit repair advice group on Facebook, give me some thumbs up if this makes sense. Drop some number ones in chat so I know that this makes sense to you and I know that you are paying attention. Otherwise, I'm just going to go home and grill something to eat because I don't have to do this. I got food at home and a grill and all kinds of good things. All right, so I want to take right now. If you guys are looking, by the way, if you are looking for help, professional help with your credit. I am a FICO certified credit coach with Credilife. And if you'd like to book a consultation with me to possibly hire Credilife and have us do the heavy lifting, have us get your credit score and your credit profile in position for your goals to do your credit repair, just go, if you're watching on Facebook, just go to www there. If you're watching book Coach Jeremy, book Coach Jeremy, bookcoachjeremy.com. And you can pick a day, an evening, even a Saturday morning I've got available. And what we'll do is we'll do an initial consultation at no cost. All right. There's no cost for the consult. I haven't done anything yet. We have to talk and see if you're a fit for the Credilife program. But what we do is we'll talk about what's going on with your credit, talk about your goals, and put together that plan and a set of steps and action items to get your credit score and your credit profile in position for all your goals. Go to www.bookcoachjeremy.com, book a consultation with me, and we will get you on your path, be it home ownership, be it whatever your goals are. All right, I'm going to get back into this. So, other things to think about, other considerations when you see something negatively happen on your credit report. You get that notification that your score has dropped, and you get a notification that something new has shown up. We've gone over the first things to check on a credit report. We want to look for inquiries. We want to look to see if balances have gone up on credit cards and revolving lines of credit, right? We want to look to see if something older that's negative has recently refreshed with new reporting. We want to look to see if any new negatives have shown up. But let's say this is due to a negative item that's now reporting fresh again because they just recently reported it. They just recently updated the credit. You do have a negative or you do have a 30-day late. So what do you do? What do you do about negatives? What do you do about derogatory accounts on your credit report? Do you call up the credit card company and beg for forgiveness? Do you send out a goodwill letter? Because we know that, gigantic companies like Wells Fargo, oh, they got a lot of goodwill for us. Sorry, dude, you didn't pay on time. We've got lots of goodwill for you. No. Do you hop on your credit monitoring and dispute it? Well, I'm going to tell you, you never want to knowingly dispute something that's yours. We're not disputing it's yours. If it's yours, right? What do I do? When you've got negative items reporting on your credit, newer negatives or older negatives, the very first step from a credit building standpoint, the very first thing you want to do is utilize the investigation process. Jeremy, what's the investigation process? Oh, I'm glad you asked. The investigation process is where you send letters to Equifax, to Experian, and to TransUnion, one to each. And you list out the derogatories, the negative things that are on your credit report. Hey, you say I'm 30 days late on my American Express card. Hey, you said this went into collection. You send out letters about these derogatory negative items, and what you're doing is you're saying, prove it. You're not disputing it, you're saying, prove it. Prove it's mine, prove it's real, prove that's the date it happened, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it. Because if the credit bureaus themselves, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, if the credit bureaus themselves cannot go back and verify the data that's being reported on your credit as 100% accurate and factual and current and correct and verifiable as of today, not back when it happened, but today. If they can't verify, validate, and document that that's all correct, up to date, accurate, everything, then by law, that information gets permanently deleted, gone from the credit profile, like it never happened. And I'll tell you what, if you got something negative showing up on your credit, you tell me, would it be nice to have that disappear? Would it be nice to have that 30-day late gone? Would it be nice to have that collection account that's standing between you and a car loan? Would it be nice to have that gone from the credit report? Would it be nice to have that collection that's standing between you and renting a nice apartment or a nice house? Would it be nice to have that gone? How about that thing that's standing between you and getting a home, getting a mortgage? Wouldn't it be nice to have that gone? Well, it can happen. And the way that happens, the proper way to attack the negative, the derogatory items on your credit, is by sending written letters, old school snail mail, whatever you want to call them, paper letters, to the credit bureau saying, prove it or remove it, prove it or remove it, prove it's mine, prove that's the balance, prove that's the date of last activity, prove that's the date of first delinquency, prove you got my correct address, prove you got my social, prove that I was 30 days late in March of 2019, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it. And if they cannot verify and validate and document that it's all 100% accurate and factual and current and correct and verifiable today, not back in March of 29 when they reported it, but if they can't verify that it's accurate today, then by law, it's permanently deleted, gone from the credit bureau like it never happened. So that item that's standing between you and your home, that item that's standing between you and a background check for a job, you and a car, right? That goes away. And that's extremely powerful. Number one, they're no longer holding your credit hostage. Oh, yeah, they're holding your credit hostage. They're bad mouthing you all over your credit with unverified information until you send them money. If that's not blackmail, I don't know what blackmail is, right? They're holding your credit hostage. They're saying, unless you pay us, we're going to keep talking crap about you, right? So not only can they no longer hold your credit hostage, but if you go and you call the collection company and you go, let's settle this debt, you neutered them. You cut them off at the shorties, right? You took away their power. Their power was they could blackmail you. Well, you took away their power. They can't report on credit anymore. So now if you go, look, you say I owe you $1,000, but would you take $379.24 on it? They're going to go, well, we can't do that. You owe us $1,000. The most. No. Here's the deal. What happens if I don't pay you now? Hey, collection company, what happens if I don't pay you? Well, we'll stay on your credit, and that could inhibit you getting a job. And that's where you stop and go, listen, Sparky, you couldn't even do that right. You've already been deleted from the credit report. Now, how much would you take on this debt? Am I talking to the right person to take care of this with? Is that right? Or should I take care of my other debts with people who actually want the money? No, we want the money. So you take away their power. You use the investigation process, you take away their power, right? The only thing they've really got over you is bad mouthing you on your credit. If you use the investigation process, You write letters to the bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. You say, prove it. Verify and validate and document that that's accurate and factual and current, correct, and verifiable as you're listing it. Otherwise, I demand you delete it from my report. If you take their power away, it becomes a lot more cost effective. And guess what? If they don't want to play ball, don't play ball. Let them bug you. Let them call you. I mean, really, everything up to suing you, there's no reason to pay them. Wait till the deal is sweet. Wait till the deal is sweet. And use that process, that investigative process, to clear that info, to get rid of those derogatory marks, to make sure you can get yourself in position to qualify for what you want. Now, am I telling you not to pay your bills? No, that is absolutely terrible advice. And a credit coach worth their while will never say, hey, don't pay your bills, because that is like psychotic, right? But what I'm saying is, while settling those debts, it's a step in the credit repair process. It's a step in the financial wellness process. It's just not necessarily the first step. When it comes to credit repair, the first step is always investigate, investigate, investigate. Verify, validate, and document that it's accurate, factual, correct, and verifiable as of today, or they got to delete it from the report. Get that crap deleted. Then you can worry about how you're going to pay it. Get that crap deleted. You can worry about it while you're sitting in your new house, because that was what was standing in the way of you qualifying for a mortgage. When you're in your nice new apartment because you passed the background check. When you're balling it at your job because you passed the background check for the job. Now, how do I do these things? If you're in the free credit repair advice group on Facebook, or if you're not in it yet, go to Facebook, join the free credit repair advice group. It's got 73,200 members. There's a files section there. And in the files, there are letter templates, and they will literally just fill it in with your information, send them off, bada bang. It's that easy. I give these things out for free for you. Otherwise, if you'd like a pro to take this on, you're always welcome to hire me. Go to www.bookcoachjeremy.com. Pick a day, evening, or even a weekend for a consultation. We'll talk about your credit, talk about your goals, put together a plan, steps, action items to get you in position for those goals. But either way, do it yourself, hire a pro. But the first step is going to be investigation. Put the burden of proof into the hands of the people who are saying that you paid late, who are saying you owe the money, who are saying that you're a bad guy and you know you're not. All right. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So, recapping, what do we do when new things show up on our credit report and we get that nasty notification from my FICO or from Credit Karma? Your score has decreased. New items have shown up. So what do we do? Again, remember, number one, the first thing we do is we get a good copy of a credit report. You can get one for free by going to free annual credit. Take your Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. We're going to look for simple stuff first. Inquiries. Were there new inquiries? If there was a new inquiry, we want to remember every inquiry costs us 5 to 15 points off your score on the FICO algorithm, okay? So inquiries, really good place to start. What's next? New negative items. Hey, did I just screw up and pay late? Well, that's something we want to look for. Increased utilization. Did our balances report that they were going through the roof on our credit cards? This month, did it say I owed more on the card than last month? Okay. And if we did, remember, balance to limit ratios on revolving accounts on credit cards are responsible for a full 30% of your FICO score. And that's something you can control. All of you can control. So we want to look for that. We want to look to see if any of our older negative items just got reported again. You know, they updated the reporting. Remember, collection companies do not always report every single month because it costs money. So sometimes they'll do it every couple months, every few months. Sometimes they'll do it once, never again. Some go every month. It depends oftentimes how much you owe them, okay? So you want to look to see if something nasty has refreshed. And then you're going to want to look for, what did I say, new nasty stuff. Did a new collection show up? Did a 90-day late show up? What types of things showed up? And then how do we address them? We use letters, old school snail mail, paper letters. We mail these things to Equifax, to Experian, and to TransUnion, and we say, prove it. You guys, with all due respect, prove it. Prove it or remove it. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit and prove it or remove it. Because if the bureaus, you have a legal right, by the way. I'm not just making this up. I'm not saying be a pain in the ass. You actually have a legal right that everything on your credit report be verified, validated, and documented, that it's accurate, factual, current, correct, and verifiable as of today. Here's why you've got that right. Nothing on your credit report has ever been verified. Not a lick of it. None of it. None of that data has ever been verified. They simply publish whatever the hell they're paid to publish. And guess what? You are being judged majorly on it. On what? Unverified data. Look, if I went in the newspaper and I said, hey, Bob is a shyster and doesn't pay his bills and he's a deadbeat, Bob would sue the crap out of me for slander. But guess what? In credit scoring, well, that's just called credit reporting. And there's a reason that they don't verify any of it. They keep the info on you and me and 350 million people. They get it on average from 20 sources per person per month. That's 350 million people, 20 sources per person per month, 3 bureaus. That's 3 times 20 times 350 million. If they were compelled to verify even 1% of it, it would take millions of employees. A credit report would cost like 50 grand. It wouldn't be happening. So you know how much they verify? You know how much they document? This much, zero, zilch, nothing, not a damn thing. None of the information on your credit has ever been verified. They simply publish whatever they're paid to publish. And major judgments are being made about you because of that. Judgments like, can you get a job? Or can you get an apartment? Or can you get a mortgage or a car loan or insurance? Where do they, if you're in the military, they use it for security clearance. Where do they go to check you out? Where do they go to verify you? The world's largest repository of unverified data, the credit bureaus. And if that's not uneffing fair, I don't know what is. Being judged for things like, jobs. I mean, I have met a person living in a hotel who came to me for help. They could not get a job. They could not get an apartment. They could not get a loan for a car. Doesn't matter because they couldn't get insurance for it anyway. Husband was military and couldn't pass his background clearance. They were fucked, is what they were. Let's call it what it is. They were fucked by their credit report. So what we did was we went on the attack with this thing. We sent out letters, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, saying, prove it, prove it's his, prove it's real, prove it was late then, prove that's the balance, prove that collection exists, prove it, prove that's the date of last activity, prove that's the date of first delinquency, prove it. And if you can't verify and validate and document that it's accurate, factual, current, correct, and verifiable today, not back when you reported it, but today, then by law, it's got to be permanently deleted from the credit profile. That is due to the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and that is federal law. And that's what you're going to use when new things show up on your credit. That same person I was talking about, by the way, they are in a house. Husband's deployed. I'm not sure if she's happy with that. She's working. They're driving a car. Things are good. I helped them out. They hired me, quite frankly. By the way, if you want a consultation, go to www.bookcoachjeremy.com if you want to hire Credilife. Pick a day and evening, even a Saturday morning, and we'll do a consultation. We'll talk about what's on your credit, talk about your goals, put together a plan, set of steps, action items to get you in position for all those goals. www.bookcoachjeremy.com. You'll have me as your admissions coach, FICO certified credit coach, Jeremy Dyson. All right, I'm going to wrap up here a little quick. Looks like I don't have too many questions out there tonight, which actually suits me just fine because I got some stuff I want to go home and grill. So that works out like really, really well. So for those of you watching me on TikTok, Credit Coach JD, hey, for those of you watching me on TikTok, thank you so much. Click the follow. Press down a bunch of times on the screen so the hearts fly around. That's awesome. For those of you who are watching me in the free credit repair advice group on Facebook, thank you for joining me. Thank you all for joining me. If you're watching this on replay, thank you for joining me. Again, I'm here every Monday night on Facebook in the free credit repair advice group and on TikTok on Credit Coach JD. Every Monday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific time. All right. Everyone go out there, fight the good fight. And I'll see you next